It's YouTube Wednesday! So I'm making another Krampus mask, and by request I'm going to show the alteration of this pre-purchased latex mask. Normally I prefer to make my own, but to sculpt and mold I just don't have time. So this is for a Krampus at a gathering in just 2 days. So, you know, sculpting, molding, casting process, drying, painting, probably don't have that kind of time if I want to get anything else done. So I'm going to try and knock this guy out just by modifying this mask here. I'm going to cut out the eyes. These eyes look really cool. And if you don't have to see, eyes that are already in the mask are great. If I'm going to wear a mask all night, it's got to be my eyes in it. So I'll probably do a lot of this on fast forward and talk through it, but I'm working on the mask.
Okay, basically all I'm doing here is I am cutting out the eyes and mouth. I saved those for another project because they did look really nice, and I can attach them to something later. I've also cut off the tips of the horns, and I have some rubber cement that I'm dipping some pumpkin teeth in before I put them into the mask. I've poked a little hole with some scissors, and then I simply dip the pumpkin teeth stem into the part that's supposed to go in the pumpkin into contact cement or rubber cement, and then I push it into the mask. Now I have some liquid latex, and I'm going around the eyes. Where I cut the eyes out, I just, it's too much of the eye now is gone. So I have to rebuild a bit of that area with paper towel. And here I am with paper towel. And I put it on. And I put it on with the eye hole covered up. Then I tear it and I push it out to the sides. And that way, if I just cut out the piece, it wouldn't look natural. But if I slit the middle, it looks like the skin bunched up on either side.
I'm about to do the horns on him, and I've shown this once before on my other Krampus video, but it's a good enough technique, it's kind of worth showing again and, focusing down on it. I have a piece of ceiling hanger wire. It's any wire that's about this stiff. Okay, the horns have to hold their shape. It's not heavy, and I'm going to trim it to length once I get it in place. And basically, I'm going to put it in one horn and out the other. This one already has horns that tell me where to put the horns. So I'm going to pull it through until I see it being right about halfway. Alright, so now it's halfway. I'm going to put a little fold in it. I'm going to send it towards the back of the mask. Alright, so now it is on the mask, and I'm bending the wire to the head. I've got a plaster head form in here, so I can bend the wire around it. And then I'll be able to bend each horn up. Okay. Now I'm going to bend each horn into the shape that I want. And I thought I would trim a lot of this, but it doesn't look like I'm going to. I'm going to measure each one, and to do that, I'm just going to get a piece of string, measure it from the horn that I cut off, just following. Okay, put that here, and now I should only have enough string So this horn's about 1 inch longer. I'm going to cut that off. Okay. I'm going to get some plastic to wrap the horns. I will keep adding plastic to get the shape that I want. I'll keep heating it, melting it down, making it stronger, more solid. It's easy as that.
Here I'm knocking out the other horn with more saran wrap, more layers. You've already seen this on the other one, and you saw this on the other Krampus mask video. So I'm not spending a ton of time on this. I'm sure by now you guys get it. But I am taking the time to make sure the horn is the shape that I want. I'm looking at it. What areas need to be thicker? That's where I'm adding it. I'm making sure I have saran wrap over the very tip of the horn, the end of that wire. And here are the horns done, and I am painting latex. Just a thin layer of painted latex over the whole horn. That's going to help me accept paint.
The fan has dried up the Krampus horns nicely. Now they're pretty solid. You can crush them if you wanted to, but they're going to hold their shape. And they're pretty stable. They're more stable when they're on my head. But they're nice big horns. They're going to wobble a little bit, but I don't mind that. I'm also going to spray foam inside of here later on, and that'll really help rigid them up. For now, I want to start painting this guy because he needs a good paint job. I've decided I'm probably going to add teeth up here to the top side. So I'll do that next.
Top teeth just the same as the bottom teeth. I'm marking where I want the teeth, making the holes. That way I can see my holes because latex seals itself up. And I am dipping the pumpkin teeth stem into contact cement and then pushing it into the mask. It is that simple. These I didn't quite like the way that it looks, so I needed to do something in order to give a better lip. But what I've just done there is I've painted leak seal over the rubber horns. And that just gives them another skin, another coating. Whole mask coated in leak seal. And dry. This is just latex house paint. If you're going to paint a latex mask, I use latex house paint. Sometimes I add in some latex if it has to be really stretchy. This mask is going to be pretty static most of the time. And why I painted it first is I'm dry brushing it. And I'm bringing more detail simply by having the black underneath. It gives it depth. I'm doing a little piece of paper towel over the teeth as a top lip. I didn't like the way that they ended, so I just did a little piece of paper towel there, and I just used the latex paint. I didn't even use any liquid latex. But because I did that, I want to firm it up a little bit, which you will see me do in a minute. And there, right there, I sprayed it with the leak seal, which is basically a spray latex. And that's going to firm up, and then I'll have to repaint that mouth area. But right now you see me painting the gloves with the leak seal, let that dry, and then I'm dry brushing that same flesh color. It's a real light flesh color because I want them pale. I am dry brushing the hands with that so they match the head. And there it is now. I've re-dry brushed the lip. And you can see I've added gums there. And now I have just a cheap $10 Harbor Freight airbrush. And I'm just hitting some color on it. I kind of want a mottled skin look. I don't want it, I just want to break up all this white. But I want to have, a general brown and white look. Right now I'm just cutting the mask. Whenever you cut the back of a mask, cut a circle in the end of it so that it doesn't run. This is the mask so far.
I have my fur here that I'm going to fur the mask with, and this time I'm going to lay some hair over top of it also. I'm going to be using a contact cement to hold everything together, and I'm going to do some real simple cuts on this one. Just getting the hair where I need it under the chin and stuff. So this ought to be pretty easy going together. Always look for the direction that your hair goes. And I know it goes this way, right here. First thing I want to do is figure out how wide I need each half. That looks like plenty for the front, so I'm going to cut it. I've made a quick starter cut in it. It should rip pretty straight all the way. This also keeps me from cutting the hair. So if I rip it like this, it's separating between the hairs, and I'm not cutting the ends of hairs off, leaving a bunch of fluff on one side or the other. Alright, I need my front piece of hair. I see the hair is going down this way, so it's going to go this way onto the mask. I've got enough to go just behind the ears because that's where I want it.
This bit here you saw in the last Krampus video. I'm basically just watching where I want fur. I'm making a mark on the fur to make sure that using a Sharpie. So I cut it and I just fit it in place.
This last bit that I cut off right here, I know that this is right here on the mask. So now I made it be a pointed bib. So it's going to blend in with the suit a lot better and not be a flat edge that stands out and pulls the eye.
Never have a straight edge on a fur costume.
So what I've done,
always cut it
is
jagged.
I've marked on the mask where the back fur needs to go to, because I know that my front fur comes all the way around to there. And I really only want this to come to the center of the top of this head. And you can see how I just traced out around that horn. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Have my midpoint, and both of these halves ought to be even. So now I can do this, fold that so it's exactly in half. And I have where I need to be.
Now I'm matching the front to the back, and I'm just taking hot glue and I'm gluing along those seams. I'm using that box of gloves there as a bit of a weight to hold them down. And once they're glued along each other, that's a pretty good bond. Hot glue works really well on fur.
And I wanted to get a brush that was near death so that, because I'm going to finish it off right now, it will not recover.
Rubber cement and contact cement.
I don't want to drag glue across the mask, so I'm twisting it here in my hand until it, like spaghetti.
Rubber cement and contact cement will kill any brush.
Whatever glue you're using, read the instructions. They're probably right. I'm just going to give that a minute. I'm not doing anything under the chin because that'll allow movement. Because if it's attached under the chin and I have that point on the chest from where the fur comes down, I do this, I'll pull that across. If it's a little open, I should have enough movement where it's not a problem. Cheapo hair extension hair.
Basically what I'm doing is I am brushing on the rubber cement or contact cement. I'm taking a pre-cut length of hair and I am using popsicle sticks. I'm showing this in real time just so you can really see it. I'm just cutting my hair. I happen to be doing that off camera. I'm going to use my pre-cut length of hair. I'm going to pick it up, fan it out, and lay it where I want it to go. What I'm really worried about right now is the hairline. I can fix the back later. If you fan it out and lay it down the way it comes, then you can drag it down with a popsicle stick and you will get thicker hair in the back and thinner hair up front, because only the ones that stuck to the popsicle stick as you pulled it forward are going to drag forward, so you get a variated hairline. Basically, it's lather, rinse, repeat at this point. Add glue, add hair to all the spots that I want them. I'm worried about the hairlines. I'm showing this one up close. See, I have that hunk of hair. I fanned it out. Now the popsicle stick is actually dragging some of the hairs on top forward so that they are just in front. So it's not this straight line of hair. It looks a little more natural. And the rubber cement, kind of catches all the ends. And you want to use the popsicle stick also to push down the ends to make sure you don't have half an inch from the end of the hair in the cement. You want the very end of it so it looks like it's growing out of the head. Here I'm just doing some painting. I'm touching up the black horns on the jaw, down there on the chin, and I'm painting the teeth in white. I'm going to paint a band of tooth decay along the top of them, which is my white mixed with a little bit of my flesh color to help marry those all together. And a little bit of a life color under the eyes, a little purple, a little red, something like that, just to blend it in, make it look more alive. Here I'm using polyacrylic, which is just a spray, acrylic spray for wood finishing, but really it's spray plastic. So I'm using it as hairspray, which is also spray plastic. And I'm just getting the hair in place and putting it where I want it. That is pretty much a finished mask right there. I'm very happy with it. Don't put a mask on right after you use rubber cement, or the fumes can get to you inside of the mask. Thank you guys for watching very much.
Oh